Trent Alexander-Arnold is one of the most controversial right-backs in football history. For a defender, he has the most attacking mind you would ever see. It's like playing Kevin De Bruyne at defense, but this has come with a lot of bashing because of his weakness in defense. A weakness that has cost Liverpool a lot of goals because of his laziness in 1v1 situations and inability to track back. Still, Trent's defensive splitting crosses, bullet free kicks and intelligent play have won the Anfield Giants the Premier League and the Champions League. So what is the real truth about Trent Alexander-Arnold? How is a mistake-prone defender a defender of the season and a Ballon d'Or nominee at age 20? Before we get into that, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. This is a sign you love my videos and want to be part of the family. Let's get to the video. To understand the controversy surrounding Trent Alexander-Arnold, we need to go back to where it all began. Trent was born in Liverpool, and like many others, he started playing in the neighbourhood, but things began to pick up pace when he turned 6. Liverpool was hosting a half-term football camp, and his school was to select students for attendance. In a random selection process, the young boy with the gifted feet was selected. Since gifted kids were impossible to hide, Trent's parents soon found themselves approached by academy coach Ian Barragan. The deal was for TAA, as fans now call him, to become a Liverpool Academy trainee, where he joined training 2 to 3 times weekly. If all goes well, the boy could go on to become a professional player. Let's be honest, Ian would probably be sitting at his sofa now, sipping beer while proudly telling his grandchildren how their father signed to one of the biggest Premier League clubs. That aside, Trent joined training with Liverpool. He was playing as a midfielder and defender for the club's under-16s before he was converted to a right-back. You see, what you probably don't know is that Alexander-Arnold has always been spectacular. As a right-back, Alexander embodied the position so perfectly, progressing at rates that brought him to the limelight in the 2015 to 2016 season. This was the same reason why he was called up to join the first team. But before that, Trent became captain of the under-16s, and in his time with Liverpool's under-18s, he was once again given the captain band. On the 2nd of August 2015, Liverpool were to play a friendly against Swindon Town. Trent was allowed to start, playing for 58 minutes before he was subbed off. This was all he needed. Throughout his time on the pitch, TAA made sure the cameras, fans, opposition, and teammates noticed him. The player made clearance after clearing, completed successful tackles, and finished it with his trademark passes. By the end of the match, all was set for the great future he dreamed of. Even Gerrard said the Englishman had a chance at making it professional. But Gerrard was retired. He had little control over the choices made at Liverpool. So the question remained, would Anfield let this talented boy from West Derby lift hearts at Anfield? The answer came on October 25th. TAA got his official debut when he was allowed to start the match against Tottenham in the 4th round of the EFL. He only played for 68 minutes this time, getting a yellow card in the first half. While he was indeed saved from a red card on his debut, his performance didn't go unnoticed, with the player being named in the EFL Cup team of the round. Now that he'd proven himself, the player was rewarded with a contract that kept him at the club for 9 years. In their next EFL Cup match, the Reds called on their wonder boy to start the match. Alexander-Arnold did not take lightly the chance that had been given to him. The defender provided a performance worthy of the camera and the money fans had paid to watch. He even went as far as securing an assist, his first ever on a professional team. When the match ended with Liverpool winning Leeds 2-0, he was pulled aside and handed the Man of the Match award. At the end of the season, Trent was handed the Liverpool Young Player of the Year award, having played only 12 games in the entire season. But this wasn't good enough. Just 12 appearances in an entire season. What could the player do to become a regular? Nathan Clyne, the regular who played right back for Liverpool, had a back injury while the team was preparing for the 2017-2018 season, leaving the spot open for someone to take. This was it. This was the chance TAA had been waiting for. He could now play regularly for Liverpool and show the world how good he was. But he wasn't the only one. Joe Gomez had also been waiting for the chance to become a regular. And worse, he'd shown how good he could be too. Faced with 2 players who could fill the right-back spot, Jurgen Klopp came to a genius decision. Both players would play, with him regulating their game starts. His first goal came when he scored a free kick against 1899 Hoffenheim in a 2-1 win, the 3rd youngest person to score on his Liverpool debut. When he started the game against Manchester City in the Champions League quarter-final, he became the youngest Englishman to attain that feat. He could have been asked to stay on the bench due to his struggle against Rashford and Zaha for successive weeks, but he proved to the world that this was the right choice. Trent put everything on the line as he went after Leroy Sané, blocking off the winger's chances and closing out City's use of the wing to devastate defenders. When the match ended, the team winning 3-0, he picked up the Man of the Match award. But the boy from West Derby wasn't done. When the team clashed for the second leg, Trent was in peak form, keeping his side of the field tight as the team won 2-1 to advance to the semi-finals. Liverpool couldn't deny recognition of his talents as he won the Liverpool Young Player of the Season for the second time in a row. Another leap was when he was given the go-ahead, joining the starting lineup against Real Madrid. Trent remains the youngest Liverpool player to start a Champions League final. Trent saw up close how deadly Ronaldo could be in that match. Though the Reds lost 3-1, his performance was stellar, keeping Ronaldo at bay, and he was praised for it. With 3 goals out of 33 appearances, Alexander-Arnold was nominated for the Golden Boy trophy that season. By the end of the 2018-2019 season, Trent had been listed as one of the most valuable fullbacks numerous times. He'd broken the record for the most Premier League assists in a game by a defender, by assisting thrice in a 5-0 win, and was also named PFA Young Player of the Year. Later on, he was included in the PFA Team of the Year. His free-kick goal was nominated Premier League Goal of the Month, and he got a Ballon d'Or nomination the next month in 2019. He was also nominated 19th in the world during the Ballon d'Or ceremony and was rated the best fullback in the world. Trent was also named Premier League Player of the Month, becoming the first fullback to attain that height since 2007. But he went further by being added to the UEFA 2019 Team of the Year. He's presently the vice-captain of Liverpool. For a player who's made crazy crosses and has recognitions that right-backs don't get, there is still a lot of criticism surrounding his style of play. Unfortunately, the same position that's giving him recognition is what makes Alexander-Arnold a constant subject of criticism. For a defender who clears balls, stops attacks, and holds his own against players like Ronaldo and Sané, it is the same defense that makes him a heavy subject of criticism. The club hasn't been having the best of seasons, and that has put them out for critics, and Trent couldn't avoid them early enough. In a match against Real Madrid in the Champions League final, Trent made a bad call by leaving Vinny Jr. open. This led to a goal and made it even harder for the team to equalise. Trent leaving Vinny open once wouldn't have been a problem, but the defender has been less than on par in so many games that it became impossible for him to escape criticism. Another factor that puts him in the face of criticism, though, is comparison. Critics and fans tend to compare the player to people like Kyle Walker, Reece James, Ben White, Kieran Trippier, and the like. I won't try to cover up by saying he shouldn't be compared, but the fact remains that if they're comparing him to such players, his other skills such as passing and incredible crosses should be put into the mix. With Trent Alexander now being allowed to invert to midfield, his skills are being put to use where he can easily avoid mistakes and create chances. He remains by no means a player without mistakes. He struggles against fast wingers and strikers just as other defenders do. But only a few right-backs have accumulated impressive stats as that of Trent's. Want to see more videos about players who are changing the narrative of football? Subscribe to the channel for more of these.